everyone, we're making macaron today. We need some room temperature egg whites. It has to be at room temperature, okay? And then a little bit of water and granulated sugar in a pot because we're gonna cook the sugar and the water together later. And then another portion of room temperature egg whites, and that is finely ground almond and a powder sugar or icing sugar. And last is the food coloring that you want, whatever color you like. Okay, first what we need to do, we need to mix the dry ingredients together, which is the grounded almond and the icing sugar. And then now I add in one portion of the egg whites into it and mix them together until it becomes like the wet sand texture. For Italian method, this is the Italian macaron, okay? We don't need to sift the dry ingredients if they are already fine enough. But if yours is not fine enough, then I suggest you to sift it first. Or you can just use a food processor to ground it slightly and make sure it is smooth. And this is the texture you're looking for, is in a wet sand texture. And then you can stop here and put it aside. Okay, now we need to do the egg whites. Remember, the egg whites has to be at room temperature. You can start it at about medium speed and then yeah, just beat it until it start to be foamy, and then you can put in a little bit of cream of tartar if you want, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, but I don't. But it's up to you if you want to. Now we need to make the hot syrup, so just put the sugar and the water into a pot over medium or medium low heat, it doesn't matter. I just want to bring it to beyond boil, so at a temperature of 238 Fahrenheit. Just make sure you don't walk away when you're doing this because you don't want to burn it and you don't want the sugar to crystallize whatsoever. So just swell it, don't stir it. And then when the bubbles becomes big, then you can double check with the thermometer for 238. Then you can do the next step. Okay, now actually the egg whites should be at least soft peak before you add in the syrup. But because before it was ready, before my syrup ready, so I stopped it. But anyway, once you start again, it will become smooth again. It doesn't matter. Now I'm drizzling in the hot syrup. Try to aim for, not hitting the whisk, because if you do, basically it will be like a little messy like me now. Try to avoid it, so aim for the egg whites between the whisk and the bowl. That spot will always end up perfectly. But anyway, if you do have some sugar on the side, you can just scrape it out later, okay? Okay, now keep whisking until this stage. I call this medium high peak, not stiff peak yet, but then I will start to add in the color. Remember to add in darker than you want, because after you bake the macaron, it will lighten in color. So make sure you have the color that is darker than what you want, just slightly, okay? Okay, now the meringue has a rich, stiff peak. This is very stiff. Look, it doesn't move. It stays very firm up. The, the tip don't even drop down. It just stay where it was. And when you turn the bowl upside down, it will not fall down whatsoever. This is very stiff and was perfect for me to work now. I take about 1/3 of the meringue mixture and then mix it into the almond mixture we have just mixed before. For this part, you don't need to be too fragile about it, because I just need these two things to go together first. I need to combine them together, so you can be not too gentle, but later after you mix in this one, you need to fold in the rest of the meringue, because we don't want to deflate any air later, okay? So that our meringue will turn out nicely, okay? Now, we have just introduced a lot of air. We just whipped in a lot of air into the meringue, and we don't want to deflate it all later, okay? Make sure you work it gently after this first batch. I want to talk about why I do Italian meringue because I tried twice with the French method and I failed because I find that Italian meringue has the better consistency. It is easier to control and it stays stiff and uh, it's just easier for me. And actually, the macaron that we can buy out there use Italian method. Okay, usually for home cook usually use the French method. But then because I couldn't do it, so I need to find another way. So I was thinking, can I use Italian meringue to replace it? And then I found out that yes, I can do that. Why not? And it works perfectly. And every time works for me now. I don't fail anymore. So if you have failed with the French method, I really strongly suggest you to try this Italian meringue method because it works so well and it tastes so good. As you can just see now, the first batch was mixed quite well already. So now the rest of the meringue you need to mix in well. Okay, this one you need to do it gently. You need to fold in until it reach to texture that I will show you later. Anyway, once the macaron is done, do not eat it until at least after 1 day or two. How long? It depends. You need to try because the macaron that are just baked are very dry. It needs to absorb the filling that you fill in, to be moist and to soften. So don't eat it freshly, because it don't taste good. Um, Try not to use shortening for the filling because I tried it and the shortening does not go into the shell whatsoever. So use anything but not shortening. Okay, now what is ready? This is ready, okay? When I lift it, the batter will ooze back and drop down by itself, okay? Not too fast and not too slow, okay? Slowly drop down, but not too slow. Too slow means it's undermixed. Too fast means it's overmixed. You need to judge yourself, and that needs practice. Okay, when I had time before, I was getting a piping bag with the normal round nozzle ready already. Size doesn't matter. You want a smaller, use the smaller one. You want a bigger, use the bigger one. So after you filled in, we can start piping. Look at the silicone mat that I have. Under that, I already have some template. You don't need to use the template if you don't want, but I don't need to use it anymore. But if you want it, the size to be perfect, then using it is actually a better option. Um, anyway, just you see, I do a straight point. I don't move. Squeeze it and then take it out, to the left or to the right, up to you. Just try to make the tick mark as little as possible, okay? Hold it at one point and then squeeze and then lift. That's it. One point, squeeze and lift. And then later, we will flatten the tick mark by tapping it. Just do this, slowly and carefully. Okay, after piping, I will remove the template that I have and then just put back the silicone mat on the tray. This is crucial, okay? You need to do this. If you don't do this, basically your macaron will crack. Banging it on the countertop for how many times? It depends because every time is different. My guide is to make sure that there is no tick mark on the top and it is smoothened out, okay? It takes about, I don't know, 10 to 20 or whatever. Just as long as you still see the tick marks, just keep on banging it. Just bang it hard. And then later it will come out perfectly. If you don't, then you will know later because your macaron will tell you, okay? Do this until you see it smooth without the tick marks. Here I'm just showing you that you can pipe it without the template. Okay, just make sure that it is round, or you can make a heart shape or whatever. But when you don't know how to do this, just do the basic round one first. Just pipe it and then keep a little distance between each of them so that it has some room. Okay, after we tap it, what do we do? You have to leave at room temperature to dry out. Or you can use the fan to blow at it or hair dryer, whatever, if you want to speed up the process. Usually that takes about 20 to 30 minutes. When it's ready, when you use the finger to touch it, it doesn't stick to your finger whatsoever, then that's ready for baking. Preheat your oven to 150 degree way before you can bake it because this the temperature is very crucial for the oven. I mean for macaron because macaron is a kind of a temperature sensitive biscuit too. Okay, for how long it depends. 20 to 30 minutes. I can't say because every time it really depends on your batter and the color that you put in because different color may affect it too and how much the coloring you put in also affect the it's about the moisture inside. Okay, so try use the color paste, do not use liquid color because you don't want to add too much moisture into your batter. Okay, these cookies are ready. What is ready? Look, when I pick it up, it does not stick to my mat whatsoever. It's easily to pick up, okay? That's ready. If it's sticking to the mat, please put it back for, as long as you need. Check it every couple of minutes. Don't check it after like 10 minutes. It's too long. Okay, now you just need to find the size that matches and then put them together. I'm using strawberry royal icing here. It tastes so good. Um, I tell you, my version of macaron is not sweet whatsoever. Compared to one you can buy out there, this is definitely not sweet. Have a try, you won't regret it. It tastes so amazing. The royal icing recipe is also on my website, www.jbabe.net. Thank you for watching.